In Introduction to Fourth Day in the Decameron, Philostrato is king and chooses stories filled with people whose love ends unhappily. Uh-oh. But first, Boccaccio interjects himself to talk about envy and how he has always tried to rise above it, but others have torn him down with their jealousy. He speaks of the people who criticize him for writing these stories that entertain the ladies, and for not making a real living. So the author tells this story as part of replying to his critics. A man named Filippo was a good and wealthy man with a lovely wife who died when their son was only 2 years old. Filippo decided to devote himself to God. He sold all of his possessions and took his son to a mountaintop where they lived on alms and prayers. He never spoke to his son about the outside world and never let him venture outside the hut or speak to anyone. Filippo would go to Florence from time to time, and when his son was 18, he asks his father if he can go with him into the city to help out. Thinking his son is immune to the temptations of the world, he agrees, and his son is amazed at what he sees there. When he sees several beautiful young women, he asks Filippo what they are called. His father tells him they are called Goslings, and they're evil. His son begs his father to take one of them home. His father realizes he cannot fight human nature, and he should never have taken his son into town. Boccaccio stops here to address his audience of women. He's told this story as an answer to his critics who say he cares too much for women and their beauty. If a young man raised without an idea of what a woman even was is so enamored of them after seeing them once, who can blame him for wanting to be around such beauty? Boccaccio's interlude is a preemptive address to his presumed detractors for having written the Decameron. He has used what was considered a lesser type of narrative style in this work and in his poetry, and popularized and elevated the everyday vernacular of the time period. Some may find it unseemly a man of his age is interested in women, but he can think of nothing worthier, even if it won't bring him much money.